Welcome to Migdal HaEmek.
Good morning, Michael.
Good morning, Daniel.
Good morning, everybody. This is Running Around Jerusalem, except we are not running around Jerusalem. We are here in Migdal HaEmek in the north of Israel. I don't know why I'm here. Michael's kidnapped me at 5 in the morning. What are we doing here, Michael?
Well, we have a special partnership project here.
Amazing.
Between Running Around Jerusalem.
Yes.
And the Partnership Together Central Galilee-Michigan region.
Right.
And the Jewish Federation of Metropolitan Detroit.
Yes.
And we get to come here and run around and explore Migdal HaEmek with you guys, and we're really excited about it.
Amazing. Please subscribe to us to the channel, subscribe to Facebook, come check us out, talk to us. We would love to hear from you and enjoy Running Around Jerusalem in Migdal HaEmek. All right, so Michael, where am I? Help me out a little bit here. What neighborhood am I in? What am I doing here?
First of all, you're in Migdal HaEmek.
Right, okay, let's start with that. Yes.
Let's start with that. Let's start with the name, right?
Okay.
HaEmek, tower in the valley.
Migdal Tower, Emek
right, because
Valley.
we're on the edge here of the Jezreel Valley.
Yeah.
Which is like the main valley in northern Israel, especially if you were wanting to cross from east to west. This is the main way that people would have come.
I see, okay. So that's why I'm geographically, I'm in the main valley between east and west of Israel. Okay, cool.
That's right, and where we're turning right now, this was really the first neighborhood in Migdal HaEmek.
Okay.
Started in the 1950s.
50s, okay.
Yes.
So it's not like other places we've seen thousands of years old. 50s, 1950s, okay, more
From
modern.
modern town, yes.
More modern, right, okay, cool.
What's so interesting about Migdal HaEmek here in this particular neighborhood is because, you know, when you think about this region of the country, we think about like the cradle essentially of Zionism.
So this valley, as you started to say, is the cradle of Zionism, right? Or
yeah, we
Zionism.
think about some of the first agricultural settlements, they all happened up here. And when we think about...
So this place was originally a kibbutz?
No, not at all.
Oh.
But why am I bringing that up when we're in Migdal HaEmek? Because when we think about the Zionist movement and the successes and building up the land, it's this romantic notion that we have.
Yeah.
Right? Except...
Got my home, got my land, got my kibbutz.
And then you have the ingathering of all the exiles and this beautiful picture. But think about it, when you take people from all over the world, you know, from Arabic countries, from Eastern Europe, where they're vastly different, and then you stick them all together, and they're coming without any resources, many of them, then it's not really a pretty picture when they're mixing together in many cases.
Right.
It's not as easy as it, or
difficult transition.
Exactly. There's really a lot of hard work that goes into making this Zionist movement work. Okay. And Migdal HaEmek is the perfect example of this.
So this did not start as a kibbutz or a moshav?
It didn't.
Okay.
It started as something called a ma'abara.
What's a ma'abara? I've never heard of that before.
As soon as Israel was established, within the first decade, within the first decade of Israel's establishment, its population tripled because of refugees from two main places. One is from the Holocaust, from Europe, and the other is from the Arabic countries, where about 700,000 Jews had to flee.
I see.
And so how does a state, a new state, without any financial resources, absorb so many people? So first thing they started was building these like tent cities in a way to just give people a place to, something over their head to start with. And these were called ma'abarot. And
so it's a kind of refugee camp, sort of tents.
Yeah, that's a good way to look at it.
Right.
So the ma'abara for Migdal HaEmek wasn't actually where we are right now. It was on a hill outside of the city. Okay. Okay. But this neighborhood gets established for the second phase of the city, which is when it's starting to become a development town.
Okay, so originally, slightly to the west of here, it started off as like a tent village refugee camp, which was just Israel's way of dealing with a huge influx of refugees and not having any housing.
Right, and if anyone's ever seen the film Salach Shabati, when we think about these refugee camps, these ma'abarot, a lot of times we imagine the Mizrahi Jews, right?
Yes.
But this one actually started with Romanian Jews.
Oh, okay. Right, because it's a common belief that ma'abarot were exclusively for Jews coming from Arab lands, but that actually isn't the case.
Right, you had the Holocaust survivors who are coming over here too.
Right, I see.
And with the next stage of this particular town, it starts a development town. These development towns are made all over the country. And
Okay, so what's a development town? We've done Marbella, now we're development town. What's that mean?
So again, how do you deal with the fact that you have no resources and you're trying to absorb all these people? Well,
okay.
You create the factories that you need in order to produce the textiles and the food and the things that you need to live.
Right.
And you have the people who are the refugees, and they go and they work in those particular factories.
So Israel's approach was start off with, okay, tent cities because I got no housing, and then the next approach is industry because we need jobs.
And we'll have them build also their own
Oh, right, and jobs that
apartment
produce
buildings
things.
and
I see,
houses
okay,
and things
fine.
like that.
I see.
So this is going to become a development town. Now, a lot of these development towns
Yeah.
did not work out so well.
One, I got too hot because it's warmer here than in Jerusalem, and I've removed my undershirt. Two, so we are now in like the first houses to the left and right of me that were built in Migdal HaEmek,
Well,
right?
we're past them a little bit, but yes.
Okay, so a little bit behind us. And these people originally came from where?
China.
Yeah, you're laugh at me, aren't you? Really?
Actually, yes, Jews from China, but not really, okay? We have to remember that
It's the most Michael Glassman sentence that were ever said. Jews from China, but not really. Yeah, okay, go on, explain what you mean.
So we have to remember that there was a good number of Jews who escaped from Europe during World War II going into China. And in fact, if you check out our run that we did through Mea Shearim, I think it's number 11,
Yeah.
check it out on YouTube. We talked about the Mir Yeshiva. The entire Mir Yeshiva
Went to Shanghai.
went to Shanghai and
Yeah.
escaped that way. So they weren't the only ones, there were others that went there as well. And so you had these European
Communities.
Jewish refugees that escaped through China.
Yeah.
And they're the ones who first set up shop here in Migdal HaEmek in the development town.
Right, so as you said, Chinese Jews, but not really.
Yeah.
More
Now,
like
if
Jews
you notice-
that stayed a little bit in China.
Now, if you notice the character of the neighborhood we're running through right now,
Yes.
you start to see Orthodox Jews
Yeah,
here.
yeah.
Okay, and
Got
there's a
black hats,
huge,
white shirts.
right.
Yeah,
And you have huge educational institutions in this neighborhood as well.
I see.
This is part of the beauty, I would say, of Migdal HaEmek, is that we're gonna see is that the population of this one town
Very
is
diverse.
so varied,
Right.
so diverse.
Okay, so as we said, like this area, Migdal HaEmek as a town, as a city, is very, very diverse. So ultra-Orthodox Jews, what
Right.
other kind of
Right.
populations live in this area?
So first of all, you should know that the ultra-Orthodox population here goes back. It's a well-known story of this Rabbi Grossman, who came here even in the 60s and really built up the educational institutions that we see around here. And he even won the Israel Prize for his work in the area. But he wasn't the only contributing factor to really building
sure.
this place up. In the 1960s, also, when this was a major development town,
Yes.
a huge influx of Moroccan Jews
Right.
came into here. So now think about what you've got. You've got the Moroccan Jews who are just coming here from Morocco.
Right.
You've got the Holocaust survivors who came here from the Marbella area.
Right.
You have the other European Jews that came over after coming to China. You've got the ultra-Orthodox population.
Yeah, don't forget those
starting to
Chinese
get built
Jews.
up.
Those Chinese Jews are important, man.
Yes, very important. So you already start to get a taste of the diversity
Right.
that's in here, and you're going to have to throw on top of that throughout the years the Russian Jews that are going to come from the Russian Aliyot in the 1990s,
Right.
the Ethiopian Jews that are going to come here, secular, Orthodox, you name it.
Okay.
This place has got it all.
This place has everything.
Those of you back in Detroit who are with us, you probably know Yuval. Yuval is the Shin that's over in Detroit. He's the one we saw at the very beginning of the video welcoming us to Migdal HaEmek. If you don't know him, get to know him. Great guy. I got to run around the streets here with him.
Yeah.
You also have to know his father, okay? His father was the head of the high school here for a while. And there's, by the way, there's only one high school here in Migdal HaEmek, and we're gonna go by there in a little bit.
Okay.
The second thing is he's very involved with the archives here, and he's been in the town here for decades and decades. I think since the 1960s, his family has been here.
I see.
So he told me a very interesting story about how when this place was a small little development town and everyone had their specific job. Okay, so you have the milkman and you have the iceman, and they all bring around their different things.
Right.
And each one had a very specific bell that they would ring. So that way, if you heard one red bell like a ding, 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 right?
Yeah.
You know it's ice, or if you're dong, 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 whatever it is, you know it's the
loving
milk
bells
coming out, right?
So just to explain that a wee bit, back in those days, rationing was still in effect in Israel. And so what would happen is that the man would come to the road with his cart, basically, and then, as you said, ring the bell, and the surrounding apartments, neighborhoods would come down, get their quota, and such would continue. And this was the way of shopping, effectively, back in those days. My father-in-law, who's passed away unfortunately and was an Israeli academic, when he was a child growing up in Jerusalem, he would have a joke where he would stand in the street and ring the bell, wait for all the houses to come out thinking there was milk or butter available, and then run off down the street. And this was his favorite practical joke of the time. I'm assuming there were many children around Israel playing such gags.
Okay, let's not get hit by a bus.
There we go.
The Iceman here in Migdal HaEmek was a guy named Abba Cohen.
Abba Cohen.
Abba Cohen.
Yeah.
And his son is today the CEO of Schwartz, which is one of the largest grocery store chains here in all of Israel.
Hundreds of locations around Israel. And so that's really the startup nation on full drive then. His dad was an Iceman, he's the CEO of one of the largest supermarket chains.
Yeah.
That's impressive, I like that.
You know, we talk about the diversity, but when I asked Avi, I asked him, what do you like most about Migdal HaEmek? What's the most important thing here?
Yeah.
And he said exactly this. He said that he loves the mix of people and how everyone really supports each other and comes together. And one of the places actually is right down there is the community center. He says like this is really one of the beating hearts of Migdal HaEmek.
I see.
And that if on any like festival or holiday, there's all kinds of people there. For example, the Ethiopian holiday of the Sig. He says it's not just Ethiopians that come there. Everyone from the community turns out.
The community turns up
on the Moroccan feast after Pesach, Mamuna.
Yes.
Everyone goes to that place. He says it's really beautiful to see everyone
embraces each other's traditions and puts it all together in some kind of a enjoyable way together. That's cool. I like that.
Right.
That's great.
The other place that we're coming up to is the amphitheater, which is the main gathering point for ceremonies on Yom HaZikaron and on Yom HaAtzmaut. And if we're already going to speak about Yom HaZikaron, which is Memorial Day, and Yom HaAtzmaut, which is Independence Day, we have to stop right here, over to the left.
There's something very large in front of me.
There is. It's a memorial to the fallen from Migdal HaEmek from the different wars here in Israel. I'm going to
slow down to walk here. That is very much a tank.
That is a tank. This particular memorial, this tank has quite the story. This was not the tank that used to be here. It used to be a Panzer tank.
A Panzer tank?
A Panzer tank.
World War II German model Panzer?
World War II German model tank, which is a very rare tank to have.
Right.
If you want to know what happened to it, maybe we'll keep running and I'll tell you about what happened to the Panzer and why you have this British-made tank instead.
And what's the memorial right here? What's this?
Again, this is to the people who are from Migdal HaEmek who fell in Israel's wars.
It actually doesn't even have years on it. It's very interesting. It's just their names and their ranking. It's very respectful, very minimalist actually in many ways. All right, so tell me the story of this tank.
So there used to be a Panzer tank here, okay, which is this very rare tank.
Very iconic.
Right.
Yeah.
So I don't know if anyone's ever been to Latrun.
Yes.
But in Latrun, Israel has a
Armored Corps, yeah, the Armored Corps Museum, yeah.
It's considered one of the best tank museums in the world because of the diversity of the tanks that they have.
Yeah.
And so when they found out that there was a Panzer here, they requested from Migdal HaEmek that they move the Panzer over to Latrun so they'd have it part of their collection.
I have a question.
Yeah.
How did the Panzer get here?
That was my question too, by the way. And I don't have the foggiest idea. No one seems to know. If you guys find out.
Partnership region, get on it.
How Migdal HaEmek.
How did Migdal HaEmek gain a Panzer tank?
Got a Panzer tank, please let me know.
So what tank is there now?
So it's some British-made tank.
Some British-made.
Yeah.
This dismissive behaviour, some British-made tank. So they wanted to switch it to get the most amount of tanks in Latrun, basically, and where they had this other tank,
So
right?
they gave it to them, so now they have it there in Latrun. That's the story.
I'm definitely in a more commercial setting. So let's get back to the story of this place. As we've done our tank, we've done our diversity, we've done bits and peoples. This place started off as a ma'abara. And then this place became, as we said, a development town. So development town, people working in the industries, building stuff, getting the town moving. What happens after that? And that's in the 60s more or less, right?
Yeah, it is. And so they build these factories. I think in Migdal HaEmek you had a cosmetics and a leather factory.
It smells so good. I don't know what smells so good, but it smells amazing. Yeah, go on.
This is the main hub of the place.
I'm hungry. Yeah.
But what happens is that because you have the development town, but you have tons and tons of people who are moving in, it can't support it. The amount of industry they have here cannot support the number of people that are moving in. And so you have a housing shortage, you have not enough jobs.
Right.
And basically you end up in this situation where it's crime, drugs,
Right.
they all come with unemployment and homelessness and all this other stuff.
Right. So what have I got here? I love Migdal HaEmek. Well, after the story you've just told me, Michael, is this sign true? I love Migdal HaEmek. It's a bit contradictory to what you were just talking about. We're
Right,
talking
this
about
place,
home
like-
problems, job problems, crime, drugs. What spurred it out into what it is today? How did this happen?
So I asked that question to Avi, Yuval's father, because he lived through all this.
Right, sure.
And without hesitation, he said, because of the mayors that were here in Migdal HaEmek. And the first one he talked about is a guy named Shaul Amor, who was mayor from 1978 to 1998.
Oh, wow.
And
Long serving.
yeah, long service. And one of the first things he does that really changes the ball game
Yes.
is he changes the status of this place from a little township to a city.
In official government of Israel terms.
An official city, right. By the way, you know what we're looking at here on our left?
This is amphitheater.
This is the amphitheater we talked about before, where everyone gathers for Yom HaZikaron, Yom HaAtzmaut.
It's a great view for an amphitheater, I must say. That is stunning.
To be here on Yom HaZikaron, to be here on Yom HaAtzmaut is
Remembrance Day, Independence Day.
an absolutely amazing event. Everyone turns out for this. This place is packed full.
When we ran into the amphitheater, I can't but notice there's a sign here which says here is the beginning of the building of a bike path. And it is by the local government, and they're creating this bike path going down here. So let's go check that out. So really the impetus to grow Migdal HaEmek in terms of industry, tourism, making it beautiful is still continuing until today. It hasn't stopped at all.
Right here, we're going here.
Okay, we're gonna go on the bike path a bit.
We're on the bike path that hasn't yet been built, and you see we're gonna get this spectacular view.
Yeah.
And this is one of the things I love about Migdal HaEmek, by the way, is that when you're in the middle of it, you look up at the horizon, you get the sense that there's something beyond,
Yes.
right? And you just haven't gotten there, and then you get to the edges, and you get these incredible views
Amazing
like we
view,
have right
amazing view.
And for those who've never been in Israel during this time period, is really powerful
Yeah.
because they have this thing called a tekes ma'avar.
Yes.
Okay, this crossing ceremony, because you have the Memorial Day, which is very solemn because people are remembering their loved ones who fell.
Fallen soldiers, yeah.
Right, just like
in
the
combat.
tank memorial
Yeah,
we
for
saw.
sure.
And then all of a sudden, when Yom Ha'atzmaut starts, that evening, boom, you have this massive celebrations that happen.
Fireworks, parties.
Right.
It's really amazing. So really, when we discuss leaders and political leaders, especially, like, you want people who are going to fight for your town, really like bring it forwards. And he did like the ultimate thing. He turned his town into a city.
Absolutely, and you can ask, well, so what? So it has city status, big deal.
Yeah.
But what comes with that city status is a lot of money, funding for the different institutions and initiatives.
Infrastructure, education, jobs, employment. He really build it up so it could be more than it was before.
Exactly, and just by changing that status, you all of a sudden open up so many different opportunities, and that's one of the things that really helped Migdal HaEmek to come out of its dark age, I guess you can say.
Yeah. And really the good leadership has continued till today.
Yeah, and that's one of the surprising things. A lot of these development towns that fail because at some point the leadership is corrupt or doesn't care about the town.
Yeah.
But Migdal HaEmek has had a series of mayors that really love this place and really invest in it and work and strive for it, which is really quite remarkable.
As we continue to see through the centre of town and through the bike trail, the continued growth of the town really continues until today.
And one of the hallmark institutions here that really is so good is education that you have. And right now we're actually running right by the high school.
Oh right, this is the high school.
This is the high school. There's outside of the Haredi section.
One secular high school.
Yeah, one secular high school and a bunch of different populations to come here.
And this is the building to my right now that I'm going past.
That's right.
And there's people waving at us over there.
Okay, so let's go see who's waiting here for us.
Yeah.
So what are your names?
Levy.
Lee and Roy. Okay. And you guys live here and you go to this high school, right?
Yeah.
Amazing. So they actually came to run with us, which is incredible. And you guys, when you grow up, you see yourself staying in Migdal HaEmek?
I don't think so, no.
No.
The microphone's small town.
No, okay. And where do you want to go? You want to go to Kobe? Yeah, combat, where do you want to go, Golani? No.
No.
Computers? But you're a kickboxer? Yeah. You still want to go into computers? Like Shimon HaMatayim? Yeah. Oh, okay, fine, very cool. So he's a kickboxer and he's smart. 8200 Michael is the cyber unit of the IDF.
Yes.
And it's very, very impressive. That's where he wants to go.
That's where he wants to go.
Yeah, so a really impressive place.
What do you like about high school here?
The personal connection that we have with our teachers and our counselors.
And Roy,
I really like the teacher.
and what's your favorite subject to learn?
It's easy, sports.
Sports.
Nice. And Lee, what's your favorite?
I like arts and psychology.
And where are your families from?
My family is actually from here. They came here when the city was first habitated.
And where are they from before then?
I have half of my family is from Morocco.
Okay.
And the other half is from Europe, and they came here after the Holocaust.
Yeah, my parents living here.
Live here?
And where
what's the
where were
background?
they from
Is it
before?
that?
Mokai.
Malay? Moroccan, both parents.
Moroccan. Okay.
Very cool. Thank you so much for running with us, and we will see you next time. You go home, you go and study something, we're going to carry on to a water tower. I loved those kids. They were great. So much more impressive than me when I was that age.
The girl, Lee.
Yeah.
Okay, first of all, she knows her family's from Morocco and Eastern Europe.
And Eastern Europe, which is
A
perfect. Yeah.
blend of what we were talking about.
That was not even planned. We didn't even know that. Yeah.
And really involved in the partnership. And
Yeah.
she said that,
2 programs.
and that she's going to be on Zoom until like midnight tonight.
Yeah.
With like different meetings planned.
Exactly.
And it was all about bringing people together.
Yeah, it was building relationships between the communities here in Israel and Migdal HaEmek, specifically to the ones overseas in America and Canada. Yeah.
The guy, Lee, you wouldn't know by looking at him, but he could kick your butt.
Yeah. Won 2 competitions at his age group in Thai boxing, and then I asked him, like, so when you go to the IDF, surely you want to be a combat soldier, right? You're a kickboxer. He's like, no, computers. I want to go into 8200, go and be a cyber. which is I was not expecting that.
People who don't know, that is like the very elite
Yes.
cybersecurity unit in the army.
Yes, 9 out of the 10 richest people in Israel have been to 8200 unit. It's very much building the high-tech people of tomorrow. Sorry, did you see what the synagogue was called?
No.
The synagogue was called Synagogue with a View to the Emek. Usually they're called on rabbis and Israel. This one's just like, it's a synagogue with a view to the Emek. It is what it is.
The Emek is the valley, people.
Yeah, the valley, right, sorry. So we're heading towards our final destination of the day, right? For Migdal HaEmek.
Yep, you've got it.
Okay, so where are we heading to?
To the beginning of the partnership trail.
The partnership trail.
The partnership trail.
What's a partnership trail? I don't know what's that mean. Help me out here.
It's a bike path
Okay.
that runs around 35 kilometers long.
Oh wow.
Around this whole partnership region.
Okay.
And why is it also the partnership trail? Because it also includes the Arab communities that are here.
I see. Okay, fine.
There are Arab towns. There's also the big city of Nazareth
Right.
in this area.
For
and
sure.
it connects all of these.
Okay, so the partnership trail is partnering between Arab and Jewish communities that live here in the region, and also between the Central Galilee region and Detroit, Michigan, right?
That's right. The guy who heads it today.
Yeah.
Okay, his name is Hisham.
Okay.
We actually had a chance to take a little Jeep ride with him
Amazing.
through parts of the trail, I should say. Really interesting guy. He's from a small Arab town in this area, and he's one of the few Arabs in the whole country that lead one of the partnership programs.
Oh,
Or one of the
amazing.
initiatives, I should
Right,
say.
okay, fine.
Okay, which is this bike trail. And he got into biking rather later in life. He said that in the Arab communities, really the whole idea of, biking recreationally has
so common.
Yeah,
Right.
it's not so common.
Uh-huh.
He said, but in the last 6 or 7 years, it's exploded. And you have more and more Arabs who are really getting involved in this.
Right.
And he got involved in it because he was the head of the Agafa Sport in his village. How do you say that?
Sports department, yeah.
Yeah, the sports department.
Sports and culture,
Exactly.
part of the local town.
The person who wanted to create this bike trail
Yeah.
throughout this whole region
Yeah.
decided that he needed all these partners, so he was put in contact with Hisham, and Hisham jumped on board, and now he ends up running this whole partnership. And the cool thing is you can see them actually building the trails,
As it's going forwards.
but all volunteers.
Oh, amazing.
He's a volunteer.
Oh, I
He
see.
runs this thing. He's working on putting together 35 kilometers and more of trail, but he's 100%
Completely
volunteer.
non-profit, just volunteer, everyone just turn up and do their bit.
Exactly. And when he
Amazing.
took us around, we got to one point and you had another guy sitting there building switchbacks going up the mountain.
Right.
Okay. Totally volunteer. Again, this guy named Matan, who's from a Jewish town in this
Right.
area.
Just working together, getting their bike trail, just a single love of cycling.
Yes.
Amazing.
So when we get to the trailhead here, I have another surprise for you.
Yeah.
We're going to meet some of the shinim.
Okay, what's
Okay.
a Shin Shin?
So Yuval, if you guys know him in Detroit,
Yeah.
he's a Shin, which means he's between high school and college,
Okay.
and they're going to spend some time in one of the communities in America, in the partnership
So
community.
they're Israelis
Israelis.
from this area.
Exactly.
Right, I see.
And here we are right now, right? And they're going to be coming to the Detroit area in order to bring Israel to you guys.
What's happening? Michael there. Hi.
Hi.
What's your names?
Noah.
Noah and
Itay.
Itay. And you guys are how old?
18.
18. So you finished high school,
No,
No,
not
not
yet.
finishing high school,
Yeah.
haven't gone to IDF yet.
No.
Okay. And so before you go to the IDF, you're doing what?
A gap year.
A gap year. That's not sure. Okay. And where are you doing your gap year?
In Michigan.
In Michigan. Amazing.
Let's go. I can't believe you guys have never been on this path,
Never.
and you live in the area. I can't wait to show it to
But
you.
she
This
says
is
it's
amazing.
below her house, so she doesn't even been there. And so from here, you're going to Michigan for a year, between high school, pre-IDF, pre-college, pre-life.
Right.
You're going to go give of yourselves, volunteer base, and just go to America to help people integrate between Israel and Michigan, right?
That's right.
Just stop our lives for a year and just give from us.
Amazing.
And what are you most looking forward to?
I guess it would be for me the long-term relationship with people. I know that as a teen counselor, I've had the privilege to be in a connection with kids, with co-counselors, with people who I've worked under, and it felt like I'm missing something. Like I need the extra continuous
Right.
connection with them, so that I could bring all of the things that I know about Israel, about myself, everything that I have to preserve that connection and to make it stronger, I felt like I couldn't do it as a teen counselor as much as I would like to.
Do your friends think you're crazy? The fact that you're taking a year away, you're going to start army a year after, you're going to start college a year after.
They're all going somewhere.
Really?
Yeah, they're all going like to
Michinal, pre-army or something?
Exactly. Or another gap year, nothing with volunteering.
Wow!
Most of our friends, it's really popular in our area to go.
Okay, this was an amazing run. Our first time up north, our first time obviously in Migdal HaEmek doing running around Jerusalem, a 6.5K run. Bit of the partnership trail, bit of the lower city, the new houses at the top, the new impetus of the mayor, the amphitheater,
The personalities, the people we met.
the people, the Shin, the high school kids, the tank. It was unbelievable, and I can't wait to come back again, see the completed trail. Very exciting stuff.
Hope you guys got a nice peek at Migdal HaEmek
Yes.
and the wonderful people here. We hope you see you here soon, and
A must come, an absolute, just, you have to come, just feel this place, the smells, the people, the personalities, absolutely fabulous. We will definitely be back.
don't forget to subscribe on YouTube, follow us on Facebook, and
And talk to us, we would love to hear from you. Coming next time, running around Jerusalem.
have a good one.